With Grand Theft Auto 6 returning to Vice City after 20 years, I thought it would be a good idea to reacquaint ourselves with Vice City. And what better way to do that than play the game it last appeared in. Today I want to look at a fairly forgotten Grand Theft Auto title, which is ridiculous, and that is Grand Theft Auto Vice City Stories on the PSP. Before we jump into the game, can we appreciate that this is being run on a PSP, right? To put this into perspective, the original Grand Theft Auto Vice City came out in 2002. 4 years later, Vice City Stories came out. Never in a million years did people think back in 2002 that 4 years later, they would be able to roam around Vice City on a portable gaming device. It's ridiculous. And to be honest with you, I still really can't wrap my head around it that in 2006 they were able to do this. I'm not going to jump into the story, I don't want to spoil it for anyone. I'm just going to give you my thoughts after playing the game for like 4 or 5 hours. First of all, let's talk about Vice City Stories intro. What I love about it is it's able to capture the 80s vibe, right? Just the 80s kind of music vibe and style. But it's also able to take some aspects of the original Vice City's intro. So it kind of like creates its own little masterpiece in that kind of way. And being honest with you, I think it's one of the best Grand Theft Auto intro music ever. I think it's not as good as the original, no, but I think it's nearly up there. I'd put it as number 2, like just in front of Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. So let's get one thing out of the way straight away. Grand Theft Auto Vice City is set in 1986. So all the stuff that Tommy Vercetti did. Grand Theft Auto Vice City Stories is set in 84. The one thing the developers did amazingly well was the continuity. You will see many buildings in Grand Theft Auto Vice City that you don't see in Vice City Stories because they haven't been built yet. And better yet, you actually see some buildings being built in Vice City Stories that later appear in Vice City. Those small details make the world feel so alive that, you know, that the world keeps spinning in the game, and that, you know, with time things get built and stuff like that and they evolve and everything. Another great little detail that I think deserves a video of its own is Fresh 105. Fresh 105 is a radio station in Vice City Stories. Now you might be thinking, you'd be like, oh, I've heard 105 before. You have heard 105 before because it's in Grand Theft Auto Vice City. What happened was a guy named Oliver Biscuit, I think his name is, bought Fresh 105 and turned it into Fever 105.
Vice City's number one radio station. Vice City's number one disc jockey. The reason why I'm the number one disc jockey, because I got some motherfucking fat ass Oliver Lady Killer Biscuit trying to buy the fucking radio station. Let me tell you one thing, Oliver, you could try your fat ass hard out and try to buy this bitch. You can't buy it because you ain't got enough fucking money and you got enough nuts to buy this bitch. Yo, go suck a dick. You can't buy this radio station.
And it's like you get a bit of lore on the person, the radio presenter, buying it out and changing the music and all that. It's like, it just makes the world feel like it's alive and that things are actually happening, you know? When you first kind of start off into the game, you'll notice you're actually on the mainland island instead of the Ocean Beach side of the island. So why I think this was a great idea for the storytellers was that what we get in Vice City is you block off half of the map, okay? What that does is it creates curiosity. Like, you see the bridge is not built, but you can see that it still is going. Like, you may not be able to see what's over there, but you know there's something over there. So you kind of get thinking, you're like, oh my God, what's over there? You start like coming up with your own situation, your own scenarios. You're like, what can be over there? What could be over there? And maybe you've done a bit of digging, you could see into the map that like, oh, there's an airport over there, oh my God. And it gets you thinking, you get curious. You're like, I really, really want to go over there. It creates a bit of a reward system, to be honest with you. You just want it. You want to see what's over there. So what they did now is, okay, we don't have that element of surprise anymore. They already know what's on there. So why don't we start them on the mainland? And it was a great idea because even for me, I was like, oh, I can't wait to get over to Ocean Beach to see what that side of the island looks like on a PSP. I think if you started on the Ocean Beach side again, you don't really have that excitement. You're not really like, oh, well, I already know like what's going to happen when I go over there. Just letting you know, this is a spoiler warning. You play as a man named Victor Vance. For any of you who don't know, that's Lance Vance's brother. He was murdered in Vice City before you even touch a controller. So it's quite shit that you play through this game already knowing that he dies basically like a couple of years later. So it's not nice in that way. And the one bad thing I'll kind of give this game is that I just feel like Victor Vance didn't really suit Vice City all that well. I just don't think he suits that lifestyle. He doesn't suit that vibe. I think it would have been way better with a more kind of a gangster kind of related thing. Just like Tommy Vercetti, he was perfect for the role, you know? I think that would have been better than just some army man, you know, who gets caught up in all the drugs. I just don't think it fits him well. His personality doesn't really fit what it's all about. He just wants to be in the army, make money for his family and move on. But here he is getting caught up with Lance because he's a fucking idiot. Another thing I just like to say about the character is he is an absolute killer. But he never comes off that way. Every time he's killing someone, he just basically says, prepare to die, or something really outlandish like that. And I just don't think it fits it at all. First of all, I don't think that's what his character is about. Like, he's an army man, he's respectful, he just wants to do good. Yeah, he got caught up in the drugs or whatever, but he doesn't like that stuff. But then when he's killing people, it's just like, he's like probably one of the worst antagonists ever, because he just says these really ridiculous things before he kills someone. Like, he has no care for life whatsoever. But then in the cutscenes, you're like, no, he's a kind and compassionate person. Okay, maybe not kind, but he's a compassionate person. He seems to care. He wanted to help that baby before and stuff like that. So it's like, I don't get that.
Suck it. You are over. Smile. Goodbye. Still here? Suck that too. Just clean it up. This relationship is over. Say hello to Mr. Death. Hola, mortuary meat. Hey, will you die? Are you feeling it? Trip on that.
That's all I'll kind of say on the story. I don't really want to go deeper into it. I just want to kind of touch on the character a bit. So another big thing I want to mention about this game is it's a clear improvement on Vice City. And now I know a lot of people don't really like to hear that. They want like, oh, the nostalgia, you know, Vice City is the better game, blah, blah, blah. I think story-wise, yes, I think it is the better game. But actually mechanics-wise, I do think Vice City Stories is better. It's clear as day. When you play as Victor Vance, his movement style is completely different to Tommy Vercetti. Real like fans will know that he runs, shoots, drives exactly like CJ. So what they've done is they took the mechanics of CJ and put that into Victor Vance. So it's interesting. He runs a lot like CJ, shoots like CJ, and that inevitably makes the game a bit better because it's more realistic. Second of all, he can swim. It makes so much sense. Now, obviously, we know Tommy Vercetti couldn't swim because it was probably a limitation. They didn't want him to swim because it's mostly water. And in this one, you can actually swim. So you never have to worry about falling out of a boat for stupid reasons. And that all comes back to the mechanics. Because how many times have you played Vice City where you just simply want to get into a boat, but you overcook the jump and you go straight into the water and he dies? That's shocking, you know what I mean? So it's nice that you're able to swim. The first mission, they show you, just reminding you, you can swim in this game. You don't drown like freaking Tommy Vercetti. Another thing I noticed, which was brilliant, was that they tried to help you a lot with the missions. Now, I think gamers nowadays, especially myself, checkpoint systems are extremely generous. They are. I like when there's a checkpoint every couple of minutes. It makes it easier in the game because for me, I just want to enjoy the story. That's more the reason I play games. Like, the challenge is fine, but I like the story. I like to just play the story and move on. I don't like constantly having to do something. It's like, no, I want to go through the story. I don't want to keep dying and having to run all around to get back to where I was. The older Grand Theft Autos are very hard, mainly because when you die in a mission, first of all, you spawn to the nearest hospital, so you're gone away from the mission completely. You lose your weapons, you lose a bit of money, you don't get a checkpoint, you have to go back to the beginning of the mission, start it, and then you go where you were. So that's a lot of things in between of you just wanting to play the story. So that happened, I think, all the way up to 4. I think it was the 3D universe. They stopped it after that. So on this one, to help you, you still do, when you die, you lose your weapons. But what I liked is when you come out of the hospital, they give you an option of buying your weapons back, which I thought was a brilliant idea. And I don't know why they never did that before, because losing your weapons is horrendous. Oh my God, how am I going to do this? Especially at the beginning of the game when you have no money whatsoever. Let's say you die. You can't just go and buy the weapons back because you have no money. It's ridiculous, right? I thought that was a freaking fantastic change. One change, that's all they made. You can buy your weapons back. Yeah, they cost a bit of money, but that's it. That doesn't matter. Another good thing. Now, I think the original Vice City did have this, but I like the way you can just jump it. They have a taxi where you can jump into and it takes you back to the mission. But in Vice City Stories, another thing they have, if you needed to drive somewhere in the mission, you have a trip skip, I think is what it's called, and it takes you back to exactly where you were before you died. So that's brilliant. That needed to happen. I think, to be honest, that's more evolution in video games. Like, that skip needed to happen. But it makes the game so much better. It's so much easier to play. Another big reason, the businesses. They've really adapted and grew the business idea in this game. Kind of the same as like gang territories. So you go up to a business, you like blow up a car outside, then you have to attack the gang who come out to defend it. You kill all of them, you run into the building, kill all the rest of the gang members, then you smash up the business. So what that does is it makes the business become available. Then you can turn it into around, I think 7 or 8 businesses. Like off the top of my head, it's prostitution, money laundering, loan sharking, protection, like any kind of gang, like the Sopranos, that kind of crap. Then you have another option of how big do you want it to be? Do you want it to be small, medium, large? Obviously it costs more, but you will get more money as time goes on, you know, that kind of way. It's a very big part of the game. They obviously really homed in on this and wanted people to use it. So they're kind of my examples of why this game is a lot better than Vice City. Yeah, now I kind of just what I want to finish on is just the small details, okay? I really want to talk about this because I've said this so many times. It's the small details in video games is what makes it so good. Really big detail for me is when you do something in the game, it translates to the radio stations.
Screen Profile steps up a notch as Interglobal Film Studios begin shooting a series of action-packed commercials on our streets over the next few weeks. The studio, about to wrap filming on their zombie movie epic, Wall Munchers, has apologized for disturbances to the normal flow of
Wall Munchers.
work. VNN. Switch off before you switch on.
Just like in Grand Theft Auto 5, when you commit a huge crime in this game, the radio station will actually pop up and tell you, oh, this has happened, blah, blah, blah. I was amazed. I was like, oh my God, they had this feature back in 2006. Unbelievable, man. You know what I mean? Then coming back to the continuity, like they did not have to go down that way. They could have easily just used the same map and just roll with it, but they decided not to. They said, you know what? Let's destroy some of the buildings and pretend like they're being built so that it feels like the world is real. In reality, they're very small details. Like I could probably play this game for the next 10 years and still find new things, you know what I mean? Another lovely little detail I loved was, even though this was played on a PSP, it still captures Vice City so well. Biggest thing for me was looking at the sunset and the sunrise. It did really make your game like turn orange, but it was just beautiful. It captured that Miami 80s vibe so beautifully well. So yeah, as I said, I could talk about this game all day. It's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. And like, if you have a PSP, Jesus Christ, man, play this game. First of all, it's a full Grand Theft Auto game. It's completely full. It came out on the PlayStation 2 eventually. And as I said before, no one seems to acknowledge this. This was the last time Vice City showed up in a game. That game is 20 years old this year. So I would, if you have the game lying around, play it. Play it to complete the campaign. It's a fantastic story, and like it just gives you a nice little taste of Vice City and like what you can look forward to in Grand Theft Auto 6, because in my opinion the best Grand Theft Auto games are the ones set in Vice City. It's not always about the massive map and the technological leaps and all that. It's about character. That's what it's really about. And Vice City has the most character out of any freaking Grand Theft Auto game. So ladies and gentlemen, play this freaking game. It's your last chance before Grand Theft Auto 6 comes out, because when that game comes out, let's face it, you're not going to be touching any of the old Grand Theft Autos. Keep playing games, ladies and gentlemen. Stay safe. Slán leat.